Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Susan, and this is Rooted Word. Sasa, how has you been? How have you been, guys? How have you been? So, in this particular episode, so I was talking the other day to a few people here, and I was reflecting about the year. And if you watch the previous one that I posted, I was telling you, all of you, 2025 has been challenging. And yeah, it's still challenging, but God is still good. Yeah. So the other day, as we were going through all the challenges, I was looking back. I entered 2025 so determined and so excited. Like, you know how I just knew this was my year. Now I'm talking about me as a person, as an individual. I knew this was my year. I was like, this is the year I'm gonna do certain things. I had certain goals that I want to achieve. But believe you me, by Feb of 20, I'll never forget. Feb of 2025, I experienced something that I don't even know. It shook me. And then in April of 2025, I also experienced, these were with individuals. So I experienced something else with another individual. And from April all the way till August, hey, it wasn't easy with this particular individual. And in between all that, my mom then, also got sick. So all my grandiose plans kind of were put on a hold. Some of them. One of them that didn't go on a hold was YouTube, because I started this YouTube channel in Feb. And when I started it, and I just started it, and then all these things started to happen. And the funniest thing with the YouTube thing was I just kept on saying, I'll just keep on doing it. I'll just keep on doing it. So one thing that I stuck out with, which was not planned, YouTube was not one of those things, was the YouTube channel. The rest was just a lot. And I had to grow up, and I had to kind of throw out everything that I thought I was going to do this year and just kind of live. But in this process, it's so interesting that because of all these things with all these people, I had to pivot. I had to change. I had to start looking and figuring out, okay, what if this happens again? Or what if I have to do this? What does that mean for me? And so I started picking a few things. One of the things that I started doing a lot more was reading books. I don't even know where I found the time to read the books in between all the crazy. And then the other thing that I started to do was experiment with a few things here and there. And lo and behold, guys, hey, I think this is the year I've read most books. Real. I mean, I can even show you. This is a book. I don't know whether you can see it. I love this book. I'm doing a workbook on this very soon. You'll have it. There were so many. There are so many. I have books. Okay, this is not one of them, but this one I've read before. But I have books. I'm surrounded by books. But I hadn't had the time to read the books because I was doing all other things. And then when all these things happened, I kind of had to slow down and read. And it changed a lot of things. Okay. And then not only did I read, I started to apply. And then not only didn't I not apply, I started to notice something because I was focusing on certain things. What was I didn't realize what I was trying to manage my time, to manage all these things. I'm juggling all these things. And I'm like, how can I do it? How can I do it, Lord? And one of the things that came out was, time management, and also your skills and resources. And how do you take a little and make it stretch for long? And obviously in the Bible we see a little becoming a lot, and that made me a bit curious, like, how did he do that? The fish, the bread. Number one, he gave thanks. That one, if you don't know, please remember, he gave thanks. Number two, I believe that when he gave thanks to God, it's like, okay, whether you like it, you don't like it, it's up to you. But for me, when I tithe, to me, it's like, this is so little from the big. You know what I'm saying? It's so tiny. I mean, 10% from whatever it is, it's so little. But when I do that, when I say, okay, Lord, here, this is I don't have to give you 10. I can even give you 15 or 20. But if I just give the 10, it's so little from the big. And then I realize this big, the remainder, if I manage it well, it actually multiplies. Well, that's what happened this year for me. I started realizing that because the truth is, a lot of people messed me up. A lot of people borrow, and you can lend. The Bible says we'll be lenders to even nations, leave alone to people. And they may not pay back when they're supposed to, or they may not do whatever they're supposed to do when they're supposed to. So what happens in that situation? Well, in that situation, you really need to know whether you're lending or giving. That's one thing I've learned. But also, if you've lent and you have whatever has remained, how do you multiply what has remained? And what can you do to make what has remained multiply? So that's one of the things that I started really thinking about. And I said, let me try it out. And I did it. And it's really crazy. So I started, because now I was reading, because I was like, how is this possible? God is not for addition, he's for multiplication. And one of the things, if you see in Genesis, he says, multiply. He even tells the animals, he tells Adam, and you have to multiply. So this multiplication thing became an issue to me. Because it's like, I'm supposed to be here, there, this way. I can't multiply myself. And the time is tight, 24 hours. But I realized there's a way you can steward, you can manage what God has given you, and it will grow. It will multiply, And so that was one lesson that I learned in 2025. So I just want to ask you guys to take time to reflect and say, what lesson did I learn? What did I learn from January to now? Did I learn anything? I've learned not to lend money and not be clear. If am I lending it? Is it coming back with an interest? Or am I just giving it? And let me tell you something about interest before I close this one. Because let me tell you, money was one thing I learned about this year, 2025. The parable about the talents. I've done that. I think I've done it. I'll link it up somewhere. Yeah. At the end, the one who buried it, remember the one who buried, these are the ones, they went out. It says in some Bibles, yeah, they went and traded. It says they went and traded. It doesn't tell us how they traded. And I'm always like, Lord, hapa kuna siri, there's a secret here. So the one who got 5, the one who got 2, they went and traded. Or they went and did something and then they doubled it. But the one who got 1, he went and buried it. And most people say, don't bury your gifts, don't bury your skills, don't bury your what God has given you, your money. So that's true. Don't bury it. However, it also says when the master came back, this guy was bold enough to say, you are this, you are that, you are that. You reap where you don't even sow, you don't even plant, And the guy says, if you knew this is how bad I was, why didn't you just take this 1 talent and take it to the bank? Because it could have earned me interest. So one other thing that I learned, like really, really learned, is like God is not going to take from me an excuse of why I did not grow as a person, or why my skills and talents did not grow, or why my money wasn't working for me, which is for him, and earning interest. And that made me actually look at all the banks. I started looking at the banks. I was like, how much do they give in your savings account? What else gives interest? What can I take? Can I take this? Where can I take this 100 bob? Where can I take this 1,000 bob? At least let me put away 1,000. What can it do? How much interest can it make? Because if it's 1 talent and the master says, how wicked of you. And he was called wicked. Guy. He was called wicked. And I was like, you guy. So how can you take what you have, and if you're not going to do anything, it must at least earn some. You must at least earn some interest. I mean, come on. So that's another thing. I was like, when God gives you something, he expects you to make it better. When God gives you a seed, he's expecting maybe a tree, whichever tree. If he gives you an apple seed, he expects an apple tree. If he gives you an orange seed, he expects an orange tree. God expects that in 2025, surely there's something you've earned. There must be some interest on what he gave you in January to what you have in December. Now, in case there's nothing, doesn't mean you're wicked. It just means why. Why whatever you had in January, did it not bring in something by December? Those are 12 whole months. Why? And I think for me, that's another thing. I can say, well, at least there's some interest here and there. It's not an overall 360, which is fine. But at least I can say I have learned and gained some interest. I've gained some wisdom. I've gained some knowledge. And now I can even apply that which I've gained and push it into 2026. I hope that has made sense, yeah? So for me, I'd say this is a good time to do reflection. Go back, look at everything you've done in 2025 from January till today. Look at your life, have a reflection. Are your relationships better? Is your business better? Is your ministry better? Is your health better? Whatever, and if not, it's okay. What are you going to do about it? So that you can be able to say, you gave me this and I've been able to do this. You get? So yeah, we are going to talk on something else in the next one. But reflection, taking time out and reflecting on what has happened in this year is so important. And I think being honest with oneself is also very important. So just be honest. There's nothing. Accept what it is. I've accepted. There's so many things that I can't make right, but I can pray about them. I can't change people. I wish people treat me in a certain way, but there's, mark and avoid and love them from afar. Yeah, there's some people you have to just say, it's been real. I'm going in this way. You're going in that way. Doesn't mean there's anything bad with you. It's just that for now, I have to go this way. And you are called to go that way. So we'll meet up, can catch a coffee, a tea, but our paths and our ways are different. And that's one thing that I also struggled with, I guess, this year, because my path this year was so totally different. And I had to branch off. And it meant that some people that I hung out with, some people that I talked to all the time, some people that were always constantly with me, they weren't going to be with me. So I had to now learn to deal. And then there were new people who God brought into my life that I am now walking this path because of this is the path that I'm on. And yeah, and make new friends and do all sorts of stuff. So yeah, reflect, review, and then maybe relearn. Yeah. So that's it for me for today. I'm going to come back with the next one. This one is going to be interesting, I think, but I hope this one has helped you and it has helped me. So remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.